Hello everybody, I am here with Miriam. Miriam is Starconnections. We've done a few little videos together, haven't we, Miriam?
Hi, Karen. So good to hear from you again.
Yes, it's
It's
been
been
ages. I thought I'd never speak to you
yes,
again or something.
it's been too long, too long. But anyway, I'm back here. Moved house and yeah, I changed place. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I hope the sound is all right
Yeah, I'm
because
just
in
going
the
to stop.
other.
I just want my dog to stop snoring wherever she is. She's making a
Oh yeah.
racket. Damn animal, just snores all the time. Anyway, so what is it you're going to talk about today? And then we'll watch you in a video.
All right. Well, I don't know if you're aware of my website, the calendar that I have been making for the last years with the moon calendar, but not just a calendar. It is the Void of Course moon calendar,
And what does
which
that
not
mean
many
exactly?
people.
What does that mean exactly? The void of moon calendar. What does that mean?
Well, Void of Course, that's what I want to explain, and I made some PowerPoint presentation for that, because it's something that not many people know, and it is an ancient old um, thing that's been used. And I think in the time that we are living now, everything is consuming, and everything has to go fast. There's hardly any moment of take a break,
Stillness.
just
Yeah, that's what I'm.
relax.
That's why I'm tired because it's working boyfriend, and there's just not really any time to think at the moment
Yeah,
myself. But
yeah,
that's the way it goes, isn't it? Sometimes.
yeah. And because we are so um, through all the how you say that, all the triggers that we have all around us 24/7, it's very hard to stay in touch with your intuition. Of course, there are people that are very connected to their
And this weather as
intuition, but
well. Grey, grey, grey.
yeah, and then all the chemicals that they're spraying as well. That, I feel that it's a very strange time we're living in. Very exciting at the other hand as well, but um, the moments of yeah, I'm going to explain it with visuals with the moon. I think that is better
Yeah.
because
Well, we can go over now, and I can film you on there. Shall we do that then?
yeah, let's do that. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Hi, Karen. Hi, good to see you. All right. Now I have to figure out. All right. Hello, everyone. I can hear Karen, but I don't think you can hear her. Um, all right, all right. I will start with this. This is my little presentation on the Void of Course calendar that I have created to explain what it is and why it is a good thing to be aware of the Void of Course moon. And this is going to be part one, why awareness of the Void of Course moon is useful. Well, the moon affects all life on Earth. And she goes around in 28 days throughout the whole zodiac. I'll get to those images in a little bit later. And then she receives all the cosmic rays as she travels through the zodiac. Here you can see the zodiacs. Can you see the cursor? Okay, cool. So she contacts everything, the whole zodiac in 28 days, and she's collecting the cosmic rays and she's filtering those and projects them to Earth, and where they get form from inspiration, action, reaction, matter, emotions, creations, etc. and influencing on gardening, that is also quite well known. And then how it works and what the void of course moon is, I will put in part 2 and 3. I've written a few things down on it, so I won't get sidetracked too quickly. So the moon is essential for setting things in motion. It shapes the emotions and actions of each day. When it forms an aspect, a connection with another planet, it signals that something is about to unfold. Aspects will be addressed later as well, what it is. They're contacts. So these aspects act as cosmic triggers, influencing how we feel, respond, and interact with the world around us, affecting both our inner emotions and external circumstances. When the moon is void of course, actions slow down, meaning nothing new will take shape. If starting during this time, it's best to take a step to take a step back and do something relaxing. So if you during a void of course buy something important besides a routine like your groceries, that has no effect. But if you buy, for instance, new clothes, or you buy a book, or whatever it is, it will be a missed buy. You know, the clothes won't fit, it is just not the right color or not the right size. Something will happen to it. The book you will not read. Same is with planning holidays or going on a trip. If you go on a trip to relax, that is fine. That is not a problem. But if you book a trip for a holiday, you have a destination, there might be delays. You might lose luggage or bad connections or something happens. So this is a good thing to be aware of. The void, of course, is not a... Yes, yes, yeah. It happens for everybody. Yeah, yeah. And it depends. Sometimes it's hard to say. And sometimes it doesn't have that effect, but 9 out of 10 times it does have that effect. And I do use only the planets that are visible. I don't use the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I've noticed already about 20 years ago that void of courses with those planets have no effect, and you go wrong with them. So I do the calculations in the traditional way. Being aware of the void of course moon is helpful because it guides you in choosing when to take action and to hold back. Let me see, what is the next image? Here in the Tree of Life, you can see as the moon filters, this is the glyph for the earth, this is the moon. So all the energies from the planets, the stars, everything comes down through the moon to the earth. So this is actually quite a good image to understand how the cosmic influences get filtered through the moon and get form. Let me see, I've got here, yeah, during this time activities initiated may lack direction or may not go as planned. So it is good for brainstorming if you are in a meeting, but not finalizing. It is good to finish off things. It is a good time to clean up, relax, meditate, go for a walk, all that sort of things. That is great. This phase, often lasting from a few minutes, can even be a split second, to several hours, or sometimes even a whole day or longer. is traditionally considered a period where initiatives may lack grounding, yielding unpredictable or inconclusive outcomes. So I wrote even more. Let me see. Yeah, no, I've said it already. Cleaning and booking a trip. Uh, um, Governments definitely. If they want to get away with something and they plan it under a void of course, no one picks it up. It's quite uh, yeah, and it's quite clear what they do. Their time. Our previous minister, he was very clear with that when he was coming to give a briefing on whatever, and it was a void of course, he would wait. And then like 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and really until the void of course started, and then he would come and he would get away with murder. It's just like, yeah. So if you want, uh, yeah, yes, exactly. They use these times on purpose, and you can see it when they used it on the minute, and it's quite compelling. Um, so that's why it is good to be aware of it, and as well, people say like, yeah, then I have to live according to the moon. Well, it's quite handy, and you develop as well your intuition. I will show that when I get further into uh, the next part of the presentation. Um, Let me see, by planning around the void of course moon, individuals and organizations can align their efforts with more favorable astrological conditions, enhancing the potential for success and clarity in their endeavors. So it is just better to be safe and know when to take the moment of rest. And I think it is very important in the time that we are living in, that when you are connecting to the moon and that rhythm, um, that you know, okay, now it's time to relax. So we go to part 2. That is, what is a void of course? Moon. And well, the moon travels through the zodiac in 28 days, all the way around. Like the sun goes around in 1 year. Venus and Mercury are also around 1 year. Mars takes 2 years. Jupiter takes about 13 years. And Saturn about 28 years. So you see, the moon goes around once a month. So it goes very quick. We we all know the full moon, the new moon, all the phases, but the void of courses, they have much more of an effect in our daily life. Um, so let's see. Yeah, I love this picture from Mucha. That's from Mucha. It's the moon with the stars. Let me get back. Oh, I love his. He made, I don't know when Mucha, I don't exactly when he was alive. Last century, around 1920, I think, 1910, somewhere there. But he made a lot of posters. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. I love it. The moon and the stars. Yeah. Um, okay, so we know she's going around the zodiac. The zodiac are the signs that we know as Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. That's those. Um, and then she travels around this way. So Let me see what I think it's confusing for me to to look at the text and the pictures. And these are the planets. So on my website and on the calendar that I made as well, these are the glyphs of the planets: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Now, if we take the Moon in Aries here, and I've taken this random. I think it was in November because the sun is in Scorpio, so I think I was making this at that time. It's already a while ago, and it actually maybe I waited until I connected with you again to present this. Yeah, who knows? I just couldn't get it together to make the text and make the presentation ready. So each zodiac sign, and they should not be confused with the constellations. That is we did another hangout when I was talking about the tropical versus the sidereal zodiac. They're two very different things, but they're both correct. A lot of people that do the Indian astrology, they say that the tropical is wrong, but that is not wrong. It depends on what you're looking at. And people can find that back on my YouTube channel. And maybe we can put a link of my YouTube channel under and my website. Yeah, because then it becomes clear what it is. So this is more of a division of the 360 degrees in 12 sections of each 30 degrees. And in a certain time, the constellations, they fit it in there, but there are, yeah, that is a confusing thing. But to keep it simple, we stick to the zodiac signs as the 30 degrees. So here the moon is in Aries, Jupiter is in Gemini, Mars is in Leo, the sun is in Scorpio, Mercury is in Sagittarius, Venus is in Capricorn, and Saturn is in Pisces. Okay, this might go over the heads of a lot of people, but just stick with me. Hope it gets more clear. So here are the degrees that are in. So the moon is 18 degrees in Aries, Jupiter is 19 degrees, Mars is 2 degrees, the sun is 21, Mercury is 13, Venus is 2, and Saturn is 12. Oh, that is just a moment in time. That is just a moment in time when that happens. Like here, Mars and Venus, but they make a 150 degrees connection. So traditionally, that is not an aspect. That's not, they don't see each other. Like here, 13 degrees, we won't be able to see either. And the sun and the moon, they don't see each other as well. So these things we have to take in consideration when calculating the void of course, or making aspects, or doing a birth chart, or all these things. In the modern esoteric new age Western astrology, all these aspects are taken, and then we throw in also Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and we throw in a whole lot of asteroids, and it becomes like a whole spider web and lovely food to talk about something very interesting. But if it really has effect, it sounds great. It's different. I stick to the tradition, and I've done as well before 2000. I was for 25 years, 24 years, a modern astrologer. But once I learned of the traditional way, I stick to the tradition. It makes much more sense. But it's very individual. That's for everybody something different. This is a beautiful image where you can see aspects, the classical aspects, the squares, the 60 degrees, the 90 degrees, and the 120 degrees, and the 180 degrees. Those are the degrees we take. Here we see at that same time that, yeah, the moon makes, in the beginning, as the moon enters Aries, here 1 degree, the moon takes about 2 days, approximately 2 days in one sign. Sometimes longer, sometimes less, but about, yeah, 2.5 days about in one sign. So 1 degree, and it is applying to the aspect with Mars. This is an 150 degrees. That's a trine. That's a very nice aspect. And with Venus, a square, which is considered bad, but it's not. It makes action. And a square sets things into motion, so that's also good. But we're going to see what is a void of course. The void of course is determined by the last aspect the moon makes when it's in a sign. Here it still makes a trine with Mercury, and it makes a sextile that is 60 degrees to Jupiter. That is going to be the last aspect. And let me see here. The Saturn and the Sun, they are not seen by the moon when the moon is in Aries here and the Sun in Scorpio and Saturn in Pisces, so they don't make aspects. So the last aspect is to Jupiter, and then the time that the last aspect is being made until the moon moves into the next section, which is here Taurus, that period is called the void of course. So here we see the classical, this is called Tema Mundi. This is a little bit technical. And here we see the rulerships of they are in their own sign. So the moon rules Cancer, the Sun rules Leo, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, Venus, Libra and Taurus, Mars, Scorpio and Aries, Jupiter, Sagittarius and Pisces. This picture you might find a lot in old images. And then Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and Saturn is considered dark, but if you see it in this concept, they are opposite. Saturn here is opposite the luminaries. The Sun and the Moon are the luminaries and the rest are the wanderers. So Saturn is opposite the light. That's why it is considered dark. But Saturn is a good thing, because without Saturn, there won't be structure, there won't be boundaries. When we break bones, it will heal through Saturn. Saturn is a very important planet, and Mars is considered also like the planet of war. It's courage and building and putting things in motion and action. So I don't like to label things as negative, especially when you read the old texts. It's all very doom and gloom, but it's not necessary. So let's have the next slide. Okay, these are the glyphs for the aspects. So there's a sextile that is 60 degrees, a square is 90 degrees, a trine is 120 120 degrees. Sorry, I said 150 before, but it's 120 and 180. So that's the glyphs. And then here people can just stop and write this down. The conjuncted is the 0 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 120 degrees, and 180 degrees. And that shows what happens, not necessarily in regard to the void of course, but this is more in the movement of every every day throughout the whole month when the moon makes these aspects to all the planets. Yeah, it is, and that this might be a bit overwhelming. This is part 3. It might be a bit overwhelming, but once you see the calendar, I've put it in such a way that you do not need to be an astrologer to understand, and you just look at the time when it is a void of course and when the moon is in an element. So let's go to part 3. No, 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 because there's only one new moon in a month and one full moon in a month, or sometimes you have 2 full moons or 2 new moons. That's why people say we should have 13 months in a year because we have 13 moons. But like in 2025, next year, we have 13 new moons instead of 13 full moons. So that changes as well. And then when there are 2 full moons, then it's called the blue moon. So yeah, no, you will see how often it's about 13 times, sometimes 12 to 13 times a period of void of course in 1 month. So it is very regular. Let me see, the phases are noted. Okay, we go here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, these are the phases of the moon. Okay, let's go through the elements. So the zodiac sign is divided in elements. The fire signs are, now this has to work. Yeah, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Yes. It's very structured, and when you see the traditional, it's very balanced. It's beautiful, beautiful in harmony. I can talk hours about that, but let's not get sidetracked. Yeah. No, but it's structured beautifully. So in the video that I put out on the tropical versus the sidereal. There I explain as well, because Aries is cardinal, Leo is fixed, and Sagittarius is mutable. But that's sidetracking again, so I'll just stick to just now with the elements. So the earth signs are green, colored green, which are Taurus is earth, Virgo is earth, and Capricorn is earth. And there we are. And they make a nice trine with each other, like the fire signs, all the elemental, all the elements, they make trines with each other. They like they communicate very well with each other. So the air, fire is good for initiatives. It's fast. It's new beginning. I always notice when I'm cycling through town and suddenly everybody is really fast and people are in a hurry, and I think, where's the moon? Oh yeah, it's in a fire sign. You notice that a lot in the traffic. Earth signs are more the practical, beautifying, tangible things. The air is the mental. That is the communication. It's good for communicating mental processes. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are the air signs, and they are in yellow. Then we get water, and that is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And then we go to, let's see, there we have the Sun, the Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They're always in this order because the Moon goes fastest, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So that's the order they go about. And okay, it's a little bit the same again. Sorry about that. The Sun rules Leo and Mercury, Virgo, and Gemini. I had it in part 2 as well. So yeah, I had this double. Venus, Libra, and Taurus. Mars in Aries and Scorpio, and Jupiter is Sagittarius and Pisces, and Saturn in Aquarius and Capricorn. So there we are again, and there they're making beautiful connection. Okay, now this is the calendar, and this is from last October. So there you can see on the 1st of October 2024, and this is for Central European time with daylight saving time. So if you are in another time zone, you either subtract or add the hours. So you are in the UK, so for you the void of course would have started at 5:30 instead of 6:30. So VC is void of course. Started at 6:30, and last aspect that was Jupiter square. Now this is more for the astrologers to note, not necessary to know this as well. I mean, it's fine to know if you want to, but not necessary. It is more important to know the VC void of course starts at 6:30, and throughout the whole day it's a void of course until midnight. For the UK it was then at 11:21, so 21 minutes past 11 midnight. And for my time it was 21 minutes past midnight. And then the moon enters Libra, air sign, and here you can see it's green. Virgo, it's in Earth. Now this is the new moon, and it was an eclipse. When you see here are the glyphs for the faces, and sometimes there's an eclipse. Eclipse is always full with the full moon or the new moon, and then I've noted it under it, and this is an annual, the eclipse annual, because it has an A annual. That means that the distance is a bit off, and then the moon has this beautiful ring light around it, or the sorry. No, yeah, that is only with an eclipse. It depends. It can be different things. It can be a P, and then it is impartial. It can be an let me see. You have an when there's a T in front, it's a total, but that's nitty gritty. That's not necessary. Only when you see a new moon and a full moon, or a full moon, and there is a timing under it, it means that it is an eclipse. That's what I've noted here. So then we have this 2 days of the moon in an air sign until the 3rd of October again, where the moon goes void of course at 1941, and then you have to check your time zone to either add or subtract, and so on. And then you see here, no, it is every time different. I can, let me see, let me just finish this, then you can see. It's every time different. Here you can see on the 21st to the 22nd, you can see it is less. It is about an hour, about 2 hours. So 20, 23, 1 minute past 23, 1 minute past 11 in the night, until 9 minutes to 1 in the morning. So approximately 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours. Where, which date? The second and the third. No, the moon enters at 20 minutes past midnight into Libra, an air sign, yellow. And then on the third in the evening, the moon makes a last aspect to Jupiter, a trine. Again, this is the cliff of Jupiter, and this is the trine at 1941. Then we have a void of course until the fourth. And then the moon enters Scorpio at 13:23. So that is midday, just past midday. And then we have water, that's blue. Fine, Saturday, the whole day, Saturday the 5th of October is all water. Until midnight, 27 minutes past midnight, the moon makes the last aspect to Mars. And then we have a void of course. The whole of Sunday was a void of course. Until 35 minutes past 1, when the moon enters the next sign, Sagittarius, fire. So this is always different. The only thing this is my guess. If I would take the Bakhtun from the Maya calendar, because the fixed stars, they move 1 degree in 72 years. To go around, it's approximately 2,500 years. Now, calculate that 12 times. So maybe then it will repeat itself again. I don't know. I haven't done that calculation, but maybe that's how long it takes for this to come back in this order. There are other orders that are more closer to each other. That is the 28, the 18, and the 19 years cycles. The 19th year cycle of the sun and the moon is quite accurate. Every 19 years, the sun and the moon make exactly the same position to each other. So how the sun and the moon are now at this moment, 19 years ago, the sun and the moon made exactly the same aspect with the same moon phase. So it's also that not every in one lifetime you will have all full moons on every degree. No, it's every time in a certain frame of degrees that it will be full moon and new moon. But that's for another time. It's going to be a little bit too complex for that. But yeah. So on here, for instance, you can see 17th of October. you see it's a full moon at 13:28, and then what is under here is 24 degrees in Aries and 35 minutes, and the void of course is 13:27. So the last aspect is the opposition to the moon, to the sun. So the sun and the moon, they make a last aspect, and that's the full moon. Yeah. Okay. And I think this is the end of the presentation. Yes. Now I don't think this is a real photo. I think it's not. There we are at the end. I've got a little bonus on. This is a photo I made myself. You can still see this? Okay, cool. I made these are my own photos that I made with my camera. I thought this was quite interesting. This one is a little bit blurry. Let me go to the next one. Oops. Yeah. Oh, and that's the morning. That was the same full moon. This was in the evening, because I always wonder, how does the moon turn, you know? Okay, here we can see the little black dot there and the little light dot over here. And then this was the same moon in the morning. And then you can see this is how the moon turns. Maybe a lot of people might know, but I didn't. I mean, I knew, but I never really saw it that clear, like with my camera. I thought it was quite nice. And then I made here, this was still my old house. This is Jupiter, believe it. Oh, you're still looking at the lady? Okay, then I need to do something over here. Let's see. Oh, I stopped screen sharing. Wait. Yep. There we go. Share. Okay, so you didn't see. Sorry. Oh, okay. I go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this one was blurry. This was the full moon in the evening. I made this photo with my camera. And then here we have the moon. Here you see the dot, the black dot in the top here, and the light dot over there. And then in the morning, the same full moon, and then the dot is there, and there's the light. So I thought it was very beautiful I was able to capture it. Mostly it is clouded here in Holland, you know, so it's hard to get a nice image. Okay, so here, this is Jupiter. It started getting cloudy already, so I had to be quick. And then I zoomed in to Jupiter. I couldn't get closer, but I think this is. I was like, all right, so that's how it looks, you know, not the images that we get from NASA. So I thought it was quite interesting. And then another morning, this was early morning. This is Venus. This was early morning before the sun comes up. I was able to catch Venus, and I zoomed in. I was getting this. Yeah, and I was able to get even more closer up onto this. And when you see that, so yeah, I think it's beautiful. This is Venus. Now look at this. I zoomed even further in. Yeah. What is that? And this was October, I think it was the 4th of October. Now, I don't remember if it was 22 or 23. I think it was last year, October morning. Yeah, morning star. Beautiful, huh? Very unusual, you know, to see it like that. Let me see, what did I have more? Oh yeah, and this is another image that I got not so long ago from the moon. And oh, I wish I was able to take the moon when it was conjunct Mars, because I saw Mars sitting here, and that was just so weird. So that's quite something. Anyway, I think that was the last one of this. Okay, so that was my presentation. Sorry? I will show, let me show you the my website. I stopped sharing here, Windows, and I'll go here. Now tell me, when I go here, can you see a change in the background? Okay, cool. Because this is my website. For now, I'm still I still have all the calendars out there from this year. December is still up, but I've been doing this now for nearly 10 years, and so I made a calendar. Let me show you. I've got it here. I've got only a few left. They went really, really fast. Yeah, let's go back to let us talk, and then I can show this as well. Okay, cool. This is the calendar for next year. Let me have a look. Okay, let me see. How do we do that? That one is off. And then, oops. Yeah, so you can see Cancer. So yeah, and then I have as well an explanation how it works and what to do and what not to do during the void, of course. And then every month, so you can hang it. And for me, this is very practical, you know, because I can hang it on the wall, and I can see straight away where we are, you know, where the moon is. An air sign, water sign, fire sign, earth, and then the air again, so and so on. And I started making this about 20 years ago, just for myself, because I'm an impulsive buyer, which resulted in a lot of misbuys. And I've got my moon in Aries, so I like, oh yeah, you know, I get a moment of like, oh yeah, I need to get this or that. And then when I started making the Void of Course calendar like that with the colors, so I could just see it, it's easy. It's like, I want to buy something, like, oh yeah, I wanted to go and get that, and then have a look at the calendar, and like, oh no, it's a Void of Course. Let me just wait until the Void of Course is over. And then 9 out of 10 times it was like, oof, I'm glad I didn't buy it. Yes, yeah. So yeah, for this coming year, and then for next year, for this is for 2025. So, and then yeah, I made the images with AI. I like AI for certain things, you know. Because one of my sons, he said, oh, you make a calendar with nice images. I said, no, not images, only information. And then I thought, oh, hang on, because I was quite late with making it. I only got the first pile of prints in September, and they were sold out very quick. And so I have a second batch. I printed the second batch, but oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shall we go talk to each other again? Okay. And then when the printed calendar is out, if it's sold out, I will put PDF files that people can get for €1.50 or so, or €2. I don't know yet, very little. And then they get it straight into their email, and then they can print it out themselves if they want.
I'm back now. I just told Miriam we can this way we can be together, but when I'm recording on the screen I can't. You're one thing, I'm another, and it just doesn't work. But what I was going to say to you was, it's so regimented, like it's pink, green, yellow, blue, pink, green, yellow, blue. It's all I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's not pink, it is red. It should be red.
Oh, sorry, red. Sorry, yeah, red. Fire, sorry, yes.
Yeah, no, they are just the elemental colors. You know, red for fire, green for earth.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
that
was me.
Blue for water, yes.
It's not like you suddenly go blue, and it all changes and they're all different. It goes one to the other, to the other, to the other, and then back 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's really amazing.
Yeah, and it is always different. As I said, you know, I've never found anything coming back. It's always different.
Also, I've got a bit of an answer. You know when you said you took the picture of the moon? I'm not sure if it works with the moon, but I think his name is Plunkett, something like that. But years ago, he would be filming the sun, and say it had the dark spots in it on the right-hand side. The moment it had gone over his head, the sun had flipped, and now those dark spots were on the other side of the sun. Isn't that crazy when it goes over your head?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I think if you go into the ancestral cosmology, how I call it, in the astronomy of our ancestors.
What I'm saying is, you know that picture you took of the moon, when you're saying, look, the spots were here, now it's flipped, and now they're there. Does that happen with the moon or just the sun?
I think the sun as well, but I can't take a picture of the sun. Right. I think it happens with all the planets like that. Each planet has its own pathway. So they will never collide into each other. And the whole, you have you have a primary direction and you have a secondary direction. So the whole of the sky, say the fixed stars and everything, moves from the east to the west. Yeah?
Right.
That's what we can see, that's what we observe. And within that, the planets, they go as well. Now, the moon being the fastest, you can see that actually all the planets, including the sun and the moon, move from the west to the east. Only they go so slow that you don't notice.
I always find it very strange. Like at the moment, or for a few days, there was a planet up there with the moon, and now it's not there.
Yeah. I think it was Jupiter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very bright, beautiful.
It was there for a few days, but I think I remember about this time taking some pictures of it and amazed they came out brilliantly on my iPhone years ago. But now it's not there. So how does that happen when that can zoom in and then it's not there? It's not like it's coming and then it's going. It's there sometimes, not there other times.
It moves. They all move. So, like, it depends on what time of the year you are.
Yeah.
And
I think I've seen
the
Jupiter
placement
in
of the planets.
December, January before, years ago. That's what I was saying to you.
Yeah. Yeah, then you have to look how the planets were there. So planets that are now close to the sun, you won't be able to see because it's daylight. Yeah, like that.
So, what's your take with the moon when it disappears? Because I think that what it was is that if the moon decides to come up somewhere different, it could be a few miles away and you just don't see it, but you think, oh, there's no moon. But it always came up. It's just not outside your house. Like, for instance, I have this, it's not really going along the road, but as a marker where I am, that's what it looks like. But if I walk to the road, it'd be behind the houses. But this moon has come very north and across. It's going to head.
It depends what time of year and
yeah. But the moon sometimes comes across my window, whereas most of the time it's sort of going down the road. So sometimes it changes direction. And a lot of moon changes can sometimes mean a change of weather, can't they?
As well, yeah. I heard not so long ago, I thought it was quite interesting from one of the translators of the old scriptures that now it is actually very difficult to use these aspects that are influencing the weather because there are so many other influences that are disturbing the natural flow.
Well, do you know what? A few years ago, I reckon it did do that, the moon. When the moon went across, the weather changed and got hotter. But then we had that really hot summer, and all I could see was the sun was very high, and it would stay like almost looking like midday for a few hours, and that's why it was so hot, because it was very slowly moving across. But nowadays, I can't work it out. I hardly ever see the moon go across my window, but it is today, and it might do for a couple of days, and then it's gone and it's back going along the road. I find that incredible that it can change direction and do such different things. And of course, if it's a racing moon, you know, like you can actually see it moving, that picks up the stars and moves them. That's what. Yeah. And it does like a heartbeat.
Exactly. That's what I meant by the moon touches actually everything in the cosmos.
Cool. Can we do Miriam? Can we do a hangout about that? Because what it was is years ago, this person told me when it's crossing Capricorn and Cancer, to go and have a look, and it was happening one week, and then say Thursday, and then the next week it was happening say on a Tuesday, and obviously we struggle because we're always covered in cloud. But I saw it, and I couldn't believe it. The moon came in from the west, going slightly south. Well, it was going south, but west. And then he said, watch. And then suddenly it started to go north. It wasn't going south and west. It just went completely north, brought the stars, dropped them off, and then went west. And what it had done was go like doing, like a heartbeat.
Oh, I wish I could see that. I have no idea. When I
didn't film it, and do you know what I needed?
I was able to observe better, but here we are full with clouds, so it's very hard to...
I myself needed a 360 camera to see what the other stars were doing. You know, when the moon moved those stars, did it move all the stars round, or was it just moving those ones and now changing them slightly in the sky and dumping them there? And, you know, I saw it twice in 1 month when it was on Cancer and Capricorn. I was standing there going like, oh my God, because I just couldn't believe to see that moon, you know, because it was, you know, with the moving moon.
That would be so great. Let me just open this one. Let me see when it's...
You know the moving moon? You know when you're watching it and you can see it moving with your eye, moving across the sky. It's racing. That's when it does it.
Yes. Let me see.
But do you know why I'd like to do a hangout on Miriam? Do you know I'd like to do a hangout on that? Because nobody seems to be talking about that. I can't believe that when you're watching the moon that other people have not seen this.
I haven't seen it either. I will check if I can find some stuff. But I think it is quite interesting as well with this. The sun is also like it's changing. I've seen it myself as well. 2 suns. A lot is changing.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that when I watched the Big Dipper going over my house, and I was making videos on it a few years ago, at 8 o'clock, I'd say, there it is, it's going across my house. And even though it's doing the same cycle, the thing is in a different place at that time now. But that's because
Yes.
they do move. But I was a bit like, I think it's changed a little bit. It's still doing it, but it's just a bit
I think
different.
so too. I think everything has shifted somehow.
Have they moved time on for us or something? You know, like we're going so fast through time. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Do you think they can do
Maybe,
that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But let's look into that. That would be great. And I think we should end here. Otherwise, it's getting long, and I think it would be nice to.
Yeah, sorry. Go back to summarising what we've done, what you've done today.
I think that yes, and then I think it would be really nice to do another hangout on that. And I promised you as well that I would do some photographs in Amsterdam. And,
Oh yes.
Yes, we do a part 4.
Just very quickly, for people who have not seen that, Miriam has been taking some photographs, realising that things that she was seeing, like roads going into the sea, they were covering them up. And then you explained a lot about Amsterdam, didn't you, and the mud flooding and everything, and that was quite incredible. So not only are you a master astrologer, you also are into lots of... Can I ask you something, Miriam? How long has it taken you to learn all this? Really?
I started in 75, somewhere around there, 75, 76. Took me a long time, but at that time, a lot of people were into astrology, and everybody spoke astrology. And I remember when I've got it here because I checked into it. When this one came out, the ephemeris for from 2000 and 2050. I've got the other one from 1900 and 2000. But when this one came out, I remember a friend of mine and myself, we were looking in here, and this was in the late 70s, the early 80s, and then we would look in here. Maybe you can see how it looks. This is what we were reading. Yeah.
I've only got the picture of the.
Oh, you can't see it. Oh, you can't see it.
No.
Okay,
And
well,
guess what, guys? You can't see it either. Only I'll be able to see it.
No, this was long before the computer, so we would.
I've still got the calendar up. I've still got
doing in 2000 and in 2000 whatever, and it was very exciting.
Can I just say that I've still got the calendar up. I can only see the calendar.
Oh yeah, no, that is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and yeah, it was then calculating hours and hours to get one chart, and yeah, it was then by the time I had children, it was when the kids were sleeping, then my books of astrology books came out, and then I would start making all these charts and just calculating. And then another friend of mine, she did the corrections for Astrolabe. That was the beginning of the astrological software. And she made she had to do some corrections in there. So when I visited her, that was still with floppy disks. And it was like you put in a date and whoop, there you have the chart. Like, wow, if I ever get a computer, I will use it only for astrology because it will save me hours and hours of calculating. but I'm glad I did that, and I still love it. That's why I make also the calendar. I have to do the corrections with the correct timings. I leave Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto out. So yeah. And then when I started in 2000 with the traditional astrology, that was a whole new ball game. That is a whole different. Then yeah, you get into a whole different world. That for me personally, it made the modern astrology very superficial, and you really take a deep dive into a lot of cycles of. Oh, it's my telephone. I'm just going to switch it off. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a deep dive, but that's a whole different system. We might be able to talk about it another time.
Sure. Anyway, do you want to just do a little summary of what you've talked about today?
Yeah, well, the moon, let's see, the moon through the 28 days, approximately 28 days that she goes around the zodiac, it makes one circle. She receives all the cosmic rays, filters them and projects them to Earth, where they take form in all, yeah, makes all form and emotions and everything.
You obviously feel this is really important, don't you? Because you've made a calendar about it.
Yes, it is very important. It gives you a moment of rest. Every time when you can see when it's a void of course, you do something relaxing, something nice, or you finish off a job. You take a step back. Do not start anything new. Do not sign contracts under it. Do not buy a car during a void of course, or sign a contract for a house, or that sort of things. That's absolutely no.
Okay, explain this then. Yesterday I went to a spa. I had a lovely time. My friend gets a free ticket once a month, and sometimes I go with her. We went in the afternoon. It was brilliant. And it's blue. So what did that mean? Because I had a great time.
Yesterday? Let me see. Yesterday we were in what? No, yesterday.
It was the 15th.
Oh yeah. It's water. Yes. Water.
I was in sort of water, steam and things.
Yeah. And then, you know, the water signs, they usually the emotional, very are more sensitive to feelings, and things are more softer. You're more receptive to other people's emotions as well. When the moon is in a yellow in an air sign, you might be able to overthink or get things more clear in your mind, like to read or write, communicate.
Oh wow, I just realised tomorrow, the 17th, is the only day of the month where nothing's happening.
Yes, there's no void of, the whole day is void of course. We are now as well in a void of course, but we connected just before. And you're going to put this out on Thursday.
Oh, so this is a long void of course, this one now, right now.
Yes, it's a long void of course, and you're going to put this out on YouTube on the 19th. Then it's in a fire sign. It's fine.
Excellent. I will do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it for Thursday evening.
You know, sometimes you can't go around it, and you have to do something. You know, you don't get stuck onto it.
Are we then the master of our destiny then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to know your chart, that's a very good guideline. There is something with the traditional astrology. Each planet is calculated to a certain point system, a 5-point system, and then the one planet that sticks out, that gets the most points, it's almost like a game, that is your ally. And your ally you can work with the best. That is your yeah.
Do the numbers of the month make any difference to what's going on, or it just so happens it's the 3rd or the 10th or the 18th?
Oh no, they have nothing. That
right.
is yeah.
I was just asking.
When they created the Gregorian calendar and they put these, I always find it very confusing actually. 31, 30, you know, and then 28 or 29. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. In that respect, I think, yes, we should actually have 13 months of 28 days. That makes much more sense.
Yes. So what do you think that month's called, by the way?
I don't know.
You don't know, no. Anyway, I have very much appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much for making the presentation. You did beautifully, and you look beautiful, Miriam.
Oh, thank you.
And we will come back and do some more then, which I will love.
Yes, that would be great. And thank you very much that you let me present this.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And yeah, if people would like to, I've got still a few left. So if people would like to buy a calendar, they can contact me over my website through the contact page. Just send me a message, what country it needs to go, and then I'll calculate it.
So basically, it's www.starconnections.
.nl.
.nl. I can see it up there. It's on the video. www.starconnections.nl. But I'll put that link, if you like, in the description.
Yeah, I would love to. And then I'll get back to people. And then as well, when it is sold out, I started working on that today to put up a web shop on my website.
Oh, well done.
And then people can just buy the file monthly or the whole calendar as well for not much. And yeah, these ones I sell for €15, 15, and that is excluding postage. So it depends on where it needs to go. But yeah.
Lovely. And then we'll come back after the festivities in the next week, and we'll come back. We'll do another one in January or something. Is that all right?
Yeah, let's connect. It would be great. Will be a bit short because I have quite a lot.
Well, we could make it February. It's fine.
We'll stay in touch, and then either January, February, somewhere.
Excellent.
Definitely, yes.
Well, I very much appreciate.
I
very much appreciate everything you've done. Your videos are very interesting. I love them.
Thank you.
Okay, so happy festivities next week, and we will be back in the new year.
Yes.
Excellent.
Right.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, chat room. Thank you. Miriam.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.